One. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Soccer Showdown. This time we're in the Murphy Booth No Soccer Showdown episode this week. This episode we're going to be talking about USA's World Cup qualifiers this past week. Victory over Honduras in the first match, 6-0. Probably the best match I've seen Team USA play ever, probably. And I mean, they've had good games in the World Cup, some thrilling matches there, but in terms of just complete dominance, I don't think I've ever seen them play that way before. It was just from beginning to end, it was just complete domination. They were -5 goal differential going in to the hexagonal group. They didn't even have a point, actually. So they picked up the 3 points there. They were -5 in the differential, got the 6 goals, went +1, moved all the way up to fourth behind Mexico, Costa Rica, Panama in that order. I think the emergence of Christian Pulisic has kind of revived the whole team and the whole morale of the team, because you see it all the time in sports when a rookie will come up in baseball, for example. Like, you could think of a Buster Posey for the Giants when he came up, and he was just such a lightning bolt of energy and production, and he's so talented that they went all the way to the World Series and they won it. I'm not saying USA is going to win the World Cup anytime soon, but to have a talent like Christian Pulisic, who's playing very well at Dortmund in Europe, and he's scoring important Champions League goals, I think that's huge. For someone like him at his age of 18 to be making such a big impact immediately on the national team. And it also helps Clint Dempsey out, because Clint Dempsey pretty much was the heir to Landon Donovan as the best United States player. I think that he was in a bit of a rough patch for a while, not just only in club but the national team, for sure. But then came in this game, he played well. Josie Altidore played well. I mean, Tim Howard, as old as he is at 38, I mean, a clean sheet's a clean sheet, so you take it. Doesn't matter how well your defense is playing or how poorly your opposition is playing. I think it's always good to have that 0 up on the scoreboard at the end of the 90 minutes. So after that, they picked up those 3 points. So then they had to go off and face Panama out in Panama City. And this one was obviously going to be more difficult because it was away. Panama is the third team in the group right now. And they ended up drawing the match 1-1. Not the worst result in the world for the USA. I think it's definitely something that they should take, considering how they played prior to the Honduras match. I think 1 point away against a team like Panama is solid to pick up. But I mean, it wasn't obviously the same as the Honduras match. It wasn't the same lineup. Jermaine Jones started instead. And hey, look, I mean, you're not going to score 6 goals every time. I mean, one goal solid, and I mean, just to get it away, it's just 1 point. The differential isn't impacted that badly. They have a better differential than Panama, and they're only behind them, I believe, by 1 point in the group. So I think it was definitely a very good week for the USA in terms of trying to get back into the World Cup hunt. I think they still definitely have a shot of getting a bid, obviously, but definitely an automatic bid. I mean, they have to go to Mexico to finish that off, obviously, besides the other teams that they have to play in the group stage. But playing Mexico away is probably going to be their most difficult fixture, aside from having Costa Rica at home and Panama at home. But to go to Mexico, I think they have to go in there with a winning mentality. They lost 2-1 to them in Columbus. Obviously not the result they wanted. But I think best case scenario is obviously always a win, but I think the most realistic thing going in here is 1-1 or a draw. And I say that because Mexico-USA is obviously the number one rivalry in the CONCACAF region. And rivalry games, as we know in all sports, especially soccer, football, calcio, whatever you want to call it, they're always close. Rivalries are always close. Each team is going to play you, give you its best match, no matter if it's their most talented team or if it's their least talented team. And I think it is a very talented USA team. And by the time they go out and play Mexico, Christian Pulisic is more mature by then. The MLS players that are playing for Team USA are going to be more in mid-season form, which I think is more important. They kind of just started their season because there's a little bit of rust that is an impact for them, as opposed to the European players who are mid-season or towards the end of their season, actually. So I think it's definitely something to be excited moving forward. They're definitely going to have to beat Costa Rica at home. I don't think there's any ifs, ands, or buts about that. They lost 4-0 to them in their first match against them. And Costa Rica is a very good team. They did very well in 2014 World Cup. So did USA. They both got out of the group, but Costa Rica is definitely a very talented team, probably one of the more underrated teams in the CONCACAF region, despite their accomplishments in the last World Cup. I think it's something that they need to win. Not necessarily that they need to win against Mexico, but a draw is something they're going to have to get. But I think it's a necessity that they have to beat Costa Rica at home. Same thing with Panama. They have to beat Panama in the USA for them to feel really good about themselves, feel comfortable not only about making it to the World Cup, but just even having a chance to qualify to get into the World Cup. So I think that's obviously something to look out for, something to look forward to, as we're right around 16 months, or maybe less than 16 months away from World Cup 2018 in Russia. I'm Martino Puccio with your Soccer Showdown update. You could check us out on soccershowdown.net. We have articles updated there with a bunch of content daily. Post-match recaps of Premier League, Serie A, La Liga, Ligue 1, World Cup qualifiers like this, Champions League, everything you can think about, transfer rumors. Go over there and check it out. You can follow me on Twitter at Martino Rosario 3. Check you next time.